All right, let's dive into A Storm of Swords. This book, it isn't just a sequel, it's a genuine narrative explosion. Seriously, the opening chapters don't just move the story forward. They light a fuse. They set up this massive three-front war, and all three fronts are on a collision course. So, in this breakdown, we're going to look at exactly how George R.R. Martin pulls that off.
And you know, the architect of all this chaos, George R.R. Martin himself, he kind of gives us a roadmap right at the beginning. This quote, it is so important. He's basically telling us, hey, forget about a straight line. To really get this story, you have to let go of that idea of a simple one thing after another timeline. What we're about to see is a world where history is happening all at once, everywhere, like a massive tangled web of crucial events.
Okay, so before we can even begin to understand the storm itself, we first need to get a handle on the world it's about to hit. And let me tell you, it's a huge world, and it's already fractured.
Just take a look at the scale we're talking about here. Way up in the north, you've got the wall, right? This massive line of ice holding back, well, who knows what. Then scroll all the way down south to places like the Riverlands and King's Landing, where you have armies just tearing each other apart. These aren't just dots on a map. They feel like totally different worlds, thousands of miles apart. And yet, their fates are about to get tangled up in a really, really violent way.
And here's how he pulls it off. This is Martin's point made real. We get to see this shattered world through all these different eyes. Think of each character as a camera. Each one is capturing a vital piece of the bigger picture. So while one of our cameras is filming a mutiny brewing at the literal edge of the known world, another one is capturing a frantic escape happening thousands of miles away. It's a masterclass in how to manage chaos.
So that brings us to the first of our three fronts, the war against the supernatural. Forget the squabbles over the throne for a second. Far, far away from all that, something ancient and terrifying is waking up in the ice. And the only thing standing between it and the rest of the world? A pretty rundown order of misfits and outcasts.
And that crumbling shield is, of course, the Night's Watch. For literally thousands of years, these guys have been the protectors, a brotherhood made up of criminals, exiles, you name it, all with one massive job: hold the wall, protect everyone south of it from whatever is out there. But here's the question, right? What happens when that shield, that brotherhood, starts to break apart from the inside?
And, well, that's exactly what's happening. We get this front row seat to the decay through the eyes of this one guy, Chet, and he is bitter. He's putting together a whole mutiny, not for some noble cause or grand strategy, but just because he's got a personal grudge. They're on the brink of facing this, world-ending threat, and what are they doing? They're turning on each other, all because of petty fears and old resentments.
And get this is the army they have to face whatever's coming. 300 men, that's it. 300.
And what's marching towards them? 30,000 wildlings. An entire army, an entire people running from something that terrifies them. The odds are just impossible. But here's the crazy part. That's not even the real threat.
You see, the Night's Watch has this really simple signal system with their horns. One blast means their own men are coming back. Okay, good. 2 blasts, that means wildlings. Time to grab your sword. But 3 blasts. For centuries, 3 blasts has been nothing more than a ghost story, Something to scare the new recruits.
So right at the moment Chet is about to kick off his mutiny, with that massive wildling army just moments away, 3 blasts echo through the forest. And in that single instant, all their little human problems, all the grudges and fears, they become completely meaningless. The real enemy, that supernatural storm, has arrived. The others are here.
Okay, so while that absolute horror show was going down in the north, there's a totally different kind of storm brewing in the south. This one is all human. It's a messy, brutal, bloody fight for power, for titles, for the Iron Throne.
And right in the middle of this human storm, we get one of the best character pairings, period. On one hand, you've got Jaime Lannister, the Kingslayer, the Oathbreaker, a guy who pretty much thinks honor is a joke. And on the other hand, Brienne of Tarth, the Oathkeeper, a woman whose entire life revolves around duty and keeping her word. They could not be more different, and now they're literally chained together on a road trip that's going to challenge everything they think they know about themselves and each other.
In this quote from Jaime, it just sums him up perfectly at this point. He's totally given up. He doesn't see any hope. He doesn't believe in honor anymore. He just sees a violent death at the end of the road. To him, big ideas like loyalty and justice, they're just words people say. The only thing that's real is a sword in your hand. So what kicks this whole new phase of the war into high gear? It's a mother's grief, plain and simple. Catelyn Stark thinks her 2 youngest boys are dead, and in her despair, she does the unthinkable. She commits treason. She lets Jaime Lannister, the single most valuable prisoner in the entire war, go free, all on the desperate hope that she can trade him for her daughters. It's an act of pure, desperate love, but it throws the entire war into chaos.
But look, the battles aren't just on snowy plains or muddy fields. There's a third front, a third storm, and honestly, it might be the most dangerous one of all. It's the war going on inside the characters' own heads, a storm of secrets, of guilt, of identity crises.
Let's go back to Chet for a second. His plan to mutiny, it's not just about being scared of wildlings. It's way deeper than that. It's fueled by a whole lifetime of feeling worthless. He despises where he came from, he's filled with resentment for the highborn guys like Jon Snow, and he's literally haunted by a murder he committed. His betrayal isn't really about the Night's Watch. It's a last-ditch effort to run away from himself.
And then you have Jaime Lannister. This is the guy whose entire reputation is built on breaking the most important promise a knight can ever make. And now, to save his skin, Catelyn forces him to swear a new oath. Suddenly, the Oathbreaker has to actually think about what it means to keep his word. It kicks off this massive internal crisis that's going to completely unravel the person he thought he was.
And Catelyn, oh man. While she's basically under house arrest for treason, she starts to put together this dark family puzzle. It starts with just one word she hears from her dying father, Tansy. And that one word unlocks a flood of memories. Her sister, Lysa's weirdly quick marriage, and it leads her to this absolutely horrifying conclusion. She realizes her own sister's ability to have children may have been the secret bargaining chip in a political alliance years ago. The war outside is one thing, but discovering this kind of secret in your own family, that's a whole different kind of devastation.
So when you put it all together, these opening chapters really leave us wrestling with one huge question. In a world where there are literal ice monsters, where your own brothers will stab you in the back, and where a mother's love can lead to treason, what does an oath even mean? What is honor worth? That's the question every single character is going to have to answer as these 3 massive storms, the supernatural, the human, and the internal, finally crash into each other.